Kia ora, New Zealand. It's 12:30 on Friday afternoon, which means we're here for Frogs on Friday. My name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of Frog Recruitment in New Zealand and People to People in Australia. Well, this is the last broadcast of the year. We'll be back again in February of 2022. Hence my Christmas hat. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with my Christmas hat. I mean, from the $2 store. I don't know, maybe a bald head is better. So I'm torn between whether a bald head is better than this particular Christmas hat, but we'll run with it. And a big hello to Jacob behind the scenes here for the last broadcast. Jacob, based in Auckland, and went out with the entire Frog team for the Christmas party yesterday. Here's the crew. They were in Ponsonby. They were, I'm not sure if anybody hit the tiles later in the evening, but apparently the food was great and everybody really enjoyed themselves. And Jacob behind the scenes, I think, has a little bit of a hangover, or at least our marketing manager said, what? No, he doesn't. He's shaking his head. Our marketing manager has been telling us a few stories about it. But anyway, so everybody with the Frog team had a great time yesterday, and I hope you enjoy your local Christmas parties in person if you can this year. So we're here to actually talk about the jobs and employment market in New Zealand, not so much about us and our Christmas party. So what we're going to do today is we'll go through our regular numbers section. We'll have a look at a couple of statistics for the 12-month period for this year, just to sort of wrap up this year. We'll also have a look at the GDP numbers that came out yesterday, and we'll have a look at those in context and see versus what the market thought that it was going to be. We'll be doing Fill Frog Friday. We've got 3 jobs that we need to fill today, right before Christmas. The market has not backed away at all. It's still very busy, and we've got 3 jobs that we need to fill today. We'll also be chatting with the finance manager of Frog Recruitment, Elena Yang, because we've got our cookbook that we release, a holiday cookbook each year, and Elena's going to have a chat to us about her entry in that cookbook and tell us a little bit about that story as well. Finally, we'll close out with the results of last week's Twitter poll, which was whether you were exhausted at this time of year or not. We'll find out, and then we'll close out for the year. So let's get into it. Let's start with our regular numbers section and have a quick look at the data that has been released recently. So the first one that we've got here is the GDP numbers. Now, this consensus for the GDP numbers was that it was going to be a decline of 4.5%. And it actually came out at a decline of 3.7%. So although it sounds like it's bad news that the economy has declined, and primarily this is a result of clearly the lockdowns and the lack of consumer spending. That's why the numbers have dropped so far. But the markets were generally quite pleased that business has adapted to the lockdowns. And the decline was not as bad as anybody expected. So you can see last time that the decline was 9.9 and the rebound was 13.9. This time round, we've declined 3.7. So I wonder what the rebound is. I mean, general consensus from us talking to clients throughout New Zealand is that people are still keen to take advantage of the recovery and are hiring. So if you're in the market right now looking for a role, this is a good number, basically, although it looks like it's bad news on the first inspection. Let's have a look at a couple of trends over the year. So this one here is, and this is the number of paid jobs. This is the data that comes out every fortnight. And I think that this number was last updated on the 13th of December. And the reason I wanted to show this was just to see, so you can see the decline. Obviously, people are not working around the Christmas break. You can see that last year in 20, the rise out in January, and then the steady trend upwards through to the last week that we had on the 13th of December there. So that's a good number. And what you don't see there is a dramatic decline for any of the lockdowns. People have remained in work. So that means that the connection between employers and talent remains despite people working from home and the like, which means that if you're an employer and you're looking for talent, it's quite difficult to shift people out. And it means that our experience of jobs during the year has remained much steadier and during the year, and the anticipation of the recovery as with the lockdowns ease in the new year it sets us up for a very good 2022. Let's have a look at the next one, which I think is the job advertisements. This is specifically from Seek. Now, the index on the side says it comes from a base of, I think, 100 back in February or January of 2020. So you can see that these numbers, although it looks like there's been a decline with the recent lockdowns in August, so you can see that dip there, it's still way above pre-pandemic levels. So at 180. So it's all good news in terms of the number of jobs that are actually out there from pre-pandemic. But it was even busier in the middle of this year. Our expectation for next year is that it's going to remain the same. It's going to be a strong market, and you'll see lots of jobs advertised. For employers that are maybe watching this and thinking, well, what does it mean for me looking for talent? I know that Seek have told us that the number of people applying for each vacancy has collapsed this year. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. Candidate hesitancy, the fact that people are in flexible working environments and they like that, and there's no need for them to change jobs, etc. And the fact that there's twice as many job ads out there, so you don't need to apply for more than a couple. So the number of responses per job advertisements has collapsed, and we don't expect that to change either. The final one I think that I'd like to show you is consumer confidence. And the reason I wanted to show this, and again, this is really for employers rather than job seekers, is that if there is a direct relationship between the number of people who are applying for jobs and whether people are looking to change jobs and the consumer confidence number. So you can see that since the lockdowns, that consumer confidence has dropped and it's below 100, as you can see for the most recent, October and November. The experience elsewhere in the world is that this should rebound. The only variable there is obviously Omicron and what's happening with that. But again, consensus is with our clients is that confidence will return. It'll be busy and there'll be lots of opportunities in the new year. So that's it for our numbers for the year. Generally, I think that 2021, from a jobs market perspective, has been a surprise to the upside. Lots of people remaining in work, lots of opportunities for people to change jobs if they want to, although not as many people are wanting to. And it's been a good news story generally for job seekers. For employers, 2021 has seen a situation where talent is very hard to find, and it's at levels that have not been experienced by employers for a decade or so, if not longer. So now let's move on, though, and talk about 3 jobs that we need to fill today. Fill Frog Friday. We've got three jobs that we need to move on really quickly. So the first one that we have here is an executive assistant based in South Auckland, paying $41 an hour, plus 8% holiday pay. They need somebody to start ASAP. Now, we've been working on this job for about 3 days. Ideally, they want somebody to start immediately. But realistically now we're looking at a start in January for 6 months to cover maternity leave. You need to be an experienced EA, so you can sort of slide into this role pretty quickly. If you're an EA you're available immediately or looking for a start in January for 6 months, jump onto this. You need to speak to Kirsty from the Frog team in Auckland. The second position that we have there is an enrolment administrator. This is based in Mount Albert at $25 plus 8% holiday pay. Once again, immediate start. We could fill it Monday, really, if we've got somebody straight away. It's a temp administrator role for student services, starting from immediately. Realistically now, that as we move into Christmas and the like, the client has said to us 13th of January, but call us today if you could start sooner. $25 an hour. It is basically proven. If you've got proven administration experience with and you're confident with the Microsoft Office suite, jump on the phone to call Thomas in our Auckland Frog team, and he'll help you out there. The senior project coordinator role is also based in Auckland, East Auckland, $38.45, 8% holiday pay. That's an immediate start as well. And it's in the education industry. Again, so with Christmas and the like, we can feel it now, but January 10th is probably the most likely scenario now. And you'll have previous experience in managing a project from end to end and working with different stakeholders. So stakeholder management, risk assessment, previous experience working in a complex environment with multiple stakeholders. It's an important part about this project coordinator's role. Okay, that's it for Phil Frog Friday. 3 good jobs: executive assistant, enrollment administrator, and senior project coordinator. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick chat we're going to explore this recipe from Elena Yang, the finance manager at Frog Recruitment. But before we do that, we've got a Christmas message from the Frog team. We'll watch that video and then we'll have a quick chat to Elena.
Hi everyone, the People to People and Frog Recruitment team here for a brief end of year message.
And wow, what a year! We're just so grateful to have the opportunity to work with such fantastic clients and job seekers in 2021.
We don't say it enough, but thank you for your continuous support. We hope that you get the time that you need to relax and reboot this summer.
Make sure you celebrate your 2021 wins and come back refreshed for another exciting year.
Take care, and if you have any last-minute recruitment to organise in the next few weeks, we're here to support you.
Happy summer break!
Hi, Elena.
Hello, Mark.
How are you?
I like your hat style. We don't see it very often.
Yeah. Do you think it's better than my bald, shiny head?
Really suits you, I would say.
Classic. Now, are you ready for a break? Are you going away for Christmas?
I'm taking a bit intermittent break during Christmas and just wrapping up, and we'll have some family time and house parties.
Yeah, no, I think it's very interesting. We've had a lot of PR at Frog on their great vacation. I think Shannon Barlow, the MD, is going to be on TV1, I think, talking about this, and a couple of other stations as well, all coming up in the next little while. So everyone really wants a holiday, I think. But hey, we've got to talk about this cookbook that we've got, and you've contributed. So this is our summer cookbook from Frog Recruitment. If you're interested in this, we'll put a link in the comments here. So you can grab your copy of the Summer Cookbook. It's got fabulous recipes, including one from Elena. We're going to talk about it in a second. By the way, we can see all of your comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you've got any questions for us, if you're interested in any of the roles that we've talked about, or indeed you want to ask about the Summer Cookbook, or have got a question for me, do it. We'll respond in real time. So let's, Elena. So what's your recipe that you've contributed to the Summer Cookbook this year?
Yeah, my recipe is a classic Chinese dish called mung bean jelly.
Right. Okay. Well, I've never had that. Tell me about it. What would I expect?
So basically, we make a jelly out of the mung bean starch, so mixed with the water, and when it gets formed, so a bit similar as the Western way. You make a sweet jelly, and then when it form in a shape, in a container, and we pour it out, and it can slice it in a noodle shape, and then mixed with the sauce and vegetables. So it's a cold dish, and I just think it's perfect for summer.
Right. Okay. And do you have any special memories about this particular dessert or?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm from the mung bean jelly, I think is developed from central China, the Sichuan province. But because I'm from the North China, from Beijing, and it was quite popular back to my childhood time around 1980s. So by then I was probably under 5, but I clearly remembered it's a popular street food they serve during summer, because summer was quite hot in Beijing, and they just serve as a cold dishes. But the way they cook traditionally was quite fascinating, at least to me, and in a child's eyes. I saw how they made it. They made jelly mixture same as we do now, and heat it. But before the jelly getting formed, they pour it over a very large flat colander with a fish shape, the hole on it, and then pour it over and very icy old cold water. So then the jelly, the warm mixture get formed into the little fish shape in the water, and that's how they make it. And in a very fast way, because they serve on the street, will have to produce a large amount. So that way it's a far more quick and also very efficient.
Yeah, wow. So that's not in the book, though. I don't think you've got the little fish shapes in the book, hey? It's just your regular.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to make a fish shape. By talking about fish shape, please don't expect like a elegant goldfish style. It's more like, I would say, like a catfish, like a finger size. One end a bit wider than the other end.
Fabulous, fantastic. All right, well, thank you for joining us today and sharing your story and your recipe in our cookbook. It's something that Frog Recruitment do every year, something that we give back. It's actually a bit of fun to get all of our team to contribute a recipe. So if you're interested with some summer favorites in there, then the link is in the comments for our summer cookbook. Grab a hold of a copy and thank you again, Elena. Rightio, so we're coming to the end of the broadcast today. So the last thing that we wanted to do is cover off our Twitter poll results from last week. So we don't have one for this week, so we're not going to go forward. But we thought we'd ask at the end of the year, after another year in the pandemic, are you feeling more exhausted than usual? It's the great exhaustion hashtag. Well, you know what? Kiwis are tired. They're exhausted. It's been a bugger of a year. So yes, I'm exhausted, 71.5%. Some of us are exhausted, but that's just the same as usual. But hey, there's a solid 11% out there in New Zealand going, you know what, I'm feeling good. This is good. This whole pandemic thing has got me in good shape. So yeah, some really interesting results. Rightio, that's it, everybody. I wanted to thank everybody who has joined us during the year. We're going to call it now, and we will be back again in the first week of February with Frogs on Friday. So enjoy your break, enjoy the summer, enjoy Christmas, and we'll see you again then in 2022 with hopefully a fabulous year.